The year was 1715. The Caribbean Sea was not just a body of water, it was a graveyard of ambition and a playground for the lawless. In the port of Nassau, the air smelled of salt, cheap rum, and the sweat of men who had nothing left to lose. Among them sat Silas Vane. He wasn't the loudest man in the tavern, nor the largest. He was a man of cold precision. While others boasted of gold, Silas studied maps. His eyes, the color of a stormy Atlantic, rarely blinked. He was looking for the Santa Maria, a Spanish treasure galleon rumored to be carrying the heart of the Inca, a diamond the size of a fist. "You're chasing ghosts, Silas," grunted Barnaby, a one-legged cook who had seen more hangings than weddings. "That ship is guarded by the Spanish Armada and the devil himself." Silas leaned forward, the candlelight flickering against his scarred cheek. "The Spanish have the ships, Barnaby, but they don't have the fog, and they certainly don't have me, the ghost of the Crimson Wake." Silas's ship, the Crimson Wake, was a masterpiece of illicit engineering. It was a brigantine, built for speed rather than brute force. Its black sails were treated with oil to make them silent in the wind, and its hull was reinforced with ironwood. As they set sail under a moonless sky, the crew worked in absolute silence. These weren't just pirates, they were outcasts from every corner of the globe, freed slaves, disgraced sailors, and hungry dreamers. "Captain," whispered Elias, the young lookout, "sails on the horizon, 2 points to the starboard. It's the Spanish colors." The Santa Maria appeared out of the mist like a floating fortress. It had 50 cannons and 300 soldiers. Silas had 20 men and a dream of freedom. The dance of iron and fire. Silas didn't attack head-on. That was a fool's errand. Instead, he used the serpent's coil, a maneuver where his ship circled the larger, slower vessel, staying in its blind spots. "Fire the chain shots!" Silas commanded. The cannons roared. Instead of aiming for the hull, Silas aimed for the masts. The Santa Maria's mainsail came crashing down, a tangle of white canvas and splintered wood. The Spanish captain, a proud man named Don Vega, screamed orders, but his ship was a wounded whale in a pool of sharks. Silas grabbed a boarding axe. "Today, we don't fight for gold. We fight so we never have to bow to a king again. Board them!" The air became a chaos of gunpowder smoke and the clashing of steel. Silas moved like a phantom, his cutlass parrying thrusts with lethal elegance. He reached the quarterdeck, where Don Vega stood, his rapier trembling. "You are a thief, Vane," Vega spat. "I am a man who took back what you stole from the world," Silas replied, his blade ending the conversation. The price of gold. They found the heart of the Inca in a velvet-lined chest. It glowed with an unnatural light. But as the pirates cheered, the sky turned a bruised purple. A massive tropical storm, a hurricane, was descending upon them. The treasure was heavy, and the Crimson Wake was damaged. Silas had to make a choice: keep the gold and risk sinking, or dump the treasure and save his crew. "Captain, we can't make it through the eye with this weight," Elias shouted over the howling wind. The crew looked at the gold, then at the churning black water. They looked at Silas. Silas walked to the chest. He looked at the diamond, the thing he had hunted for 5 years. Then he looked at Barnaby, at Elias, and at the weary men who had bled for him. "Gold can be found again, but a crew like this is forged in hell. Overboard with it!" The immortal horizon. The Crimson Wake limped back into a hidden cove weeks later. They had no gold, they had no jewels, but they had their lives, and they had a story that would make every sailor in the Atlantic tremble with excitement. Silas Vane didn't retire. He didn't hide. He sat on the beach carving a new figurehead for his ship. He knew that as long as there were empires claiming the sea, there would be men like him, the Samudri Daku, to remind them that the ocean belongs to no one.